ब्रह्मास्मृत्पायुष्कामयमामेन धर्मार्थसुखसाधनम् आयुर्वेदोपदेशेषु विधेः परमादर आयुर्कामयमामेन धर्मार्थसुखसाधनम् आयुर्वेदोपदेशेषु विधेः परमादर.
Dear viewers, Ayurveda, the knowledge of life and longevity, is perhaps the oldest existing body of knowledge on the healing process. It is not merely a medical system, it is a way of life. This knowledge system deals with not only the problems of the body and mind, but also that of the human spirit and consciousness. In these days of changing paradigms, when Western science is looking to Eastern logic and spirituality to find solutions to physical, mental, spiritual and social problems, it is important for us to rediscover this holistic thought process in the interest of humanity at large. It is our humble attempt through this series to bring Ayurveda and its allied knowledge systems into your homes and hearts. We hope we have your blessings in this purposeful journey of ours. Dhanvantari is considered to be an Amshavatara of Vishnu. He is worshipped wherever the science of Ayurveda is practiced. But he was not the creator of Ayurveda, nor even Brahma, who is only credited with having remembered it. So by all probability we say that Ayurveda was always there. Due to overindulgence in sensual pleasures and lack of moderation in lifestyles, human beings once upon a time are said to have been troubled by diseases of the body. To redeem this situation and to save their fellow beings from destruction, the great sages of the past took time to deliberate upon this problem. They resolved to learn the science of Ayurveda from Indra, the Lord of Heaven. It is to this lineage of ancient rishis that we trace the origins of Ayurveda.
ब्रह्मास्मृत्पायुषो वेदं प्रजापतिमजीगृहत् ब्रह्मास्मृत्पायुषो वेदं प्रजापतिमजीगृहत् सोऽश्विनौ तौ सहस्राक्षं सोऽत्रिपुत्रादिकान् मुनीन् ते अग्निवेशादिकांस्तेदु पृथक् तन्द्राणि ते निरे ते अग्निवेशादिकांस्तेदु पृथक् तन्द्राणि ते निरे. प्रजापतिमजीग्रह ब्रह्मा कृत्वायुषो वेदम् प्रजापतिमजीग्रह
Brahma smrutva ayusho vedam. It's not told that Brahma krutva ayusho vedam. Brahma didn't do, Brahma didn't write, Brahma recollected.
Ayurveda is a knowledge system about whose origins the text says is very difficult to explain. If you can find out when life began, then they say we can say also when Ayurveda began.
For understanding Ayurveda as a science, we have to take the path of Ayurveda, path of the Vedic science. How Vedic science has been understanding the universe. This effort has not been done by any of these so-called Western science.
Modern science in that way is very limited. Its time frame, just one big bang and one big crunch, the entire universe is gone. But we say that's only a phase. So there were different kalpas we are talking of where the knowledge of Ayurveda continued to flow.
My observation, my experience or my comment should be that Ayurveda is a science with all its qualification, but it has to be perceived from its own standpoints. That has not been done.
There are times when it comes in a memory, times when it goes out of our memory. Means there is always a reminiscent of a previous creation or a cycle. So it is said Brahma Smrutva.
India's knowledge system started from the Shruti. Shruti means that which is heard. And after so many years of experiencing Shruti, through the highly evolved individuals, which we call rishis, the Smritis emerged. Smritis are actually recollections of Shruti.
Sthiti, Smriti and Kriti are three essential activities which alone will create the foundation for Ayurvedic education and its channelization in the realm of practice.
Earliest references to Ayurveda we find in Atharvaveda. That you must have noticed, or somebody must have talked to you. In Atharvaveda you find really a lot of references. They even talk about replacement of leg by iron leg. They talk about draining the bladder by using a catheter. He talks about progress of the disease from one part of the body to the other part. Angat pravartate, like for Yakshma he says. So there are a lot of references in Atharvaveda. From there, various texts have taken up, like Charak Samhita, Sushruta Samhita, Ashtanga Hridayam, Ashtanga. But it has not stopped there.
Ayurveda is one of the Upavedas. If you take Dhanurveda, that's another Upaveda. So all this knowledge system which you have been just telling me is Upavedas or branches or sub-parts of Veda. The four Veda comprehends everything. That is all the knowledge system, the root or the seeds of knowledge system are inherent in or it is there in the Vedas. From Vedas, all these sciences emerge.
अथर्ववेद का उपवेद होने के नाते आयुर्वेद भारतीय संस्कृति और परंपराओं का एक अटूट हिस्सा रहा है। इस कारण हम लोगों पर जब विदेशियों के हमले होते रहे, वो चाहे मुगलों के हमले रहे हों या औरों के, तो उन्होंने भारतीय संस्कृति को नष्ट करने के लिए सबसे पहले आयुर्वेद को नष्ट किया। बाद में हम अंग्रेजों के गुलाम रहे, उन्होंने भी आयुर्वेद को नष्ट ही किया।
The British were here to rule. They wanted to propagate their own thing, and you don't, take whatever is good from the captain, those who are captives. So their aim was to, it's like they give an example that there are two ways you can destroy a field. You can just mow it down, raise it down to the ground, and the other way is to, you sow weeds there. So over a period of time, the weeds become more powerful. So if you are going to contaminate the contemporary or the native thought with your own thoughts, it's going to be contaminated, and this is what we find. We are more British than the British themselves.
Panchabhut. What are these Panchabhut? They sound to modern science people of some very tribal kind of stuff. To any modern young chaps, modern educated people, the Panchabhut is what? Water, air, fire, earth. What kind of things are these? They look archaic kind of.
Akashad Vayu, Vayu Agni, Agnerava, Adbhya Prithvi, Prithivya Oshadhaya. Oshadhibhyo Annam, Annat Purusha.
There is a very robust foundation of Panchabhutas. Panchabhuts are basically, you have 5 sense organs. Everybody accepts it, science or no science. The 5 sense organs are there. And each of these sense organs have one special quality which is only known through that sense organ. Taste is through your tongue, sight is through your eye, hardness through touch and things like that. So you have special qualities which each of these 5 sense organs give you. And these qualities, they must be informing us about the reality. And these qualities must be having some substrate in reality. They must be inhering somewhere in reality. So these qualities which are specially and exclusively given by each sense organ, the substrate of that is Panchabhut, Panchamahabhut.
Ayurveda is being evaluated with modern science. That trend is there in all Ayurveda colleges. If you take Vata Pitta, you'll say, what is it in modern physiology? Is it acetylcholine or is it the nervous system? Come on, tell me something clearly, otherwise you go away with it. These kind of debates are taking place in Ayurvedic colleges. Another approach is we say, okay, Ayurveda and modern medicine are entirely different knowledge systems. And without understanding what is knowledge system, sometimes we come to this conclusion that just to resolve this conflict, that this is another knowledge system, this is another knowledge system. And so there are certain areas where they can be compared but not evaluated. So 2 terms are being used here, comparison, evaluation. So evaluation means you use one as a standard and the other should be proved on the basis of the other. Comparison means we don't say that this is the standard or the other is the standard, just try to understand. The third approach is you say there's no comparison or evaluation. Ayurveda is Ayurveda, we don't want to look into any modern aspect. And the fourth approach is saying that why not we evaluate modern medicine on the basis of Ayurveda. These 4 trends, if you resolve the entire crisis, it comes under these 4 pathways. So we are like standing at the 4 crossroads, throwing stones at each other and abusing each other without really realizing. We don't know which pathway is true.
Modern science can be visualized as being kept in Greco-European dispositions. No? It's historically risen in Greco-European world. So you have dispositions of Greco-European dispositions envelop science. Science to become a science for the world, must get out of that. And I think most of Indian theoretic traditions have to jump in.
India is the home of Ayurveda, and yet many of us have been trained in the allopathic tradition. And what was surprising to most of us, I'm also interested in the history of medicine and so on, and have done some work on medical education, that in the early part of the British influence in India, the Orientalists and the Anglicists got together and decided to integrate this. And so if you go back into the old medical colleges of Calcutta, Bombay and Madras, you find they read Charaka Samhita, Sushruta Samhita as much as they read the other things. But somewhere down the line, as part of maybe colonialism, as part of our own sort of lack of confidence in our own systems, we grew up in St. John's and in other medical colleges in India totally unaware of the Ayurvedic tradition.
To my mind, the worst distortion is in the mind of our people. So the whole psyche has been that, that you look down on what is ours. And you look, West is best and white man is a great man and white man's medicine is a great man. So that kind of, what you call taking over of the mindset.
Allopathy is very dominant, and it tends to look at this whole process of integration in a very dominant sort of way, which is it tries to allopathize other traditions. So there's no real dialogue. So allopaths who've looked at herbal medicine or Ayurveda are just trying to find cures. Rather than some of the cures we use, they want cures from Ayurveda.
The question of integration is one could have had at least some amount. And when I'm saying integration, it does not mean that you just pick up 2-3 things. But let the practitioners of one system offer. And as a pluralistic growth and development, healthily. That is what people basically believe. India is a land of diversity, from religion to geographical to, for food-wise, everything-wise. And there's absolutely no reason that our heritage, which is extremely rich heritage, that, the only time we really value it is when a company from outside patents something and packages it and sells it to us. And it's only when the West says, yoga, va, va, and then we say, yes, yoga, va, va.
India is the birthplace of this great medical system of knowledge that we know as Ayurveda. All over the world today, there is an unprecedented revivalist interest shown towards this ancient health management system, which is pro-nature, eco-friendly, holistic, and spiritually elevating. The Western science is reeling under the impact of self-destructive forces it has unleashed upon itself while pursuing a materialist approach to life. It desperately wants to return now to a kind of science that is morally and ethically correct and also relevant in today's fast-changing world. Ayurveda, in this context, is held in the highest esteem by the West as an ideal and holistic health management system. Like Arnold Toynbee said, modern civilization which had a Western beginning is probably poised for an Indian end. As Indians proud of our true heritage, we must seize this opportunity and do our best to popularize this system of knowledge which has been in a state of neglect for quite some time now. As Swami Vivekananda once put it, we must not be like that proverbial donkey that carried a load of sandalwood on its back, felt the weight of it, yet did not enjoy its fragrance.
ग्रहोर्ध्वांग शल्यदंष्ट्र जरावृषान् अष्टवङ्गानि तस्यागुश्चिकित्सा येषु संश्रिता कायबाल ग्रहोर्ध्वांग शल्यदंष्ट्र जरावृषान् अष्टवङ्गानि तस्यागुश्चिकित्सा येषु संश्रिता।
आयुर्वेद सीखना है तो आयुर्वेद के जो मूल ग्रंथ हैं जिन्हें संहिता कहा जाता है, वो संहिता अध्ययन यदि बराबर करें, बराबर मतलब हर एक सूत्र को या श्लोक को या जो भी होगी ऋचा उसको पाठ करो, उस पाठ को लेकर के हर एक शब्द का पूरा विश्लेषण करो, जिसमें व्याकरण हो, जिसमें निरुक्त हो, जिसमें और भी आयुर्वेद की तंत्र युक्तियाँ इत्यादि का प्रयोग कर उस सूत्र के शब्द के अर्थ को समझो और फिर उस अर्थ में जो और भी बातें छुपी हुई है उनको समझो। इन 3 स्तरों पर पहले तो पाठ करो, दूसरा शब्दों के अर्थों को समझने का प्रयास करो। उस शब्द से अर्थ मतलब शब्द स्पर्श रूप रस गंध आकृति आकार जो भी आता है उन सब को समझने की आप कोशिश करो और फिर जो समझ में आया है उसके विश्लेषण को ले फिर बाद में संश्लेषण की प्रक्रिया, ये अध्ययन का वास्तविक स्वरूप अभिप्रेत है।
Knowledge of Ayurveda is dormant in each one of us. Dhanvantari is in each individual. The real puja of Dhanvantari is to awaken that deity, that awareness. Dhanvantari is nothing but that awareness, that sharpness of vision. Dhanu means the bow. Anta means who has destroyed. Arya means the enemy. The person who has destroyed the enemies with his bow. Which means the bow, when you use a bow, I mean you have to pull the string back and then leave it. So many factors are there. Pulling the string back is you have to create the right amount of tension and then look at the exact target and then leave it. I mean, this shows a sharpness of vision in life. I mean, this is how you must respond to your situations. So Dhanvantari should awaken. The day Ayurveda becomes really revived is when each and every living being, Dhanvantari is there in an ant, it is there in a cat, it is there in a dog, it is there in a lion. Only thing is it is much more manifest there because they are not going, they are having that awareness. That awareness is Dhanvantari, that is the god of medicine.
ब्रह्मास्मृत्वायुषो वेदम् प्रजापतिमजीगृहत् ब्रह्मास्मृत्वायुषो वेदम् प्रजापतिमजीगृहत् सोऽश्विनौ तौ सहस्राक्षं सोऽत्रिपुत्रादिकान् मुनिन् ते अग्निवेशादिकांस्ते तु पृथक् चन्द्राणि ते निरे ते अग्निवेशादिकांस्ते तु पृथक् चन्द्राणि ते निरे ब्रह्मास्मृत्वायुषो वेदम् प्रजापतिमजीगृह